it is us again. The intense family divide between Jacob and Jeremy Roloff has never been more outspoken or intense. But though their views surely feel the same way, they seem to be a little better at hiding their intense grudge when the situation calls for it. Isabel Roloff, her mother-in-law Amy Roloff, and her sister-in-law Audrey Roloff sat down for some family bonding recently. The two redheads were spending the weekend with Amy on her new property, and Izzy shared a photo to prove it. "Hot toddies for the hotties," she writes across the cozy image. A hot toddy is essentially an alcoholic tea, usually made with whiskey, honey, lemon and cloves in hot water. It was Molly who prepared the drinks for her family. Don't you miss Molly? We're sure that everyone involved enjoyed their bonding time. Jacob and Izzy, very appropriately, especially given their ages, do not have any kids of their own, but that doesn't stop them from being a doting aunt and uncle to their nibblings. Besides, the whole family needs to help Amy create new memories in her new home, now that she has left 3 decades of family memories at Roloff Farms behind her. But what really struck fans of Little People Big World is seeing Isabel and Audrey spending time together. It's not like the beef between their handsome husbands is solely between them. Part of what drew both women to their respective Roloff men is shared values, and the brothers have virtually opposite views from each other. In June, for example, Jacob and Izzy were outspoken about Black Lives Matter, echoing the urgent pleas of millions of Americans seeking justice and reform. Meanwhile, Jeremy shared a post about unity, and when Jacob saw the vague post, he correctly condemned it as police propaganda. More recently, the two have been butting heads over the devastating wildfires that are carving a swath across the West Coast, including their native Oregon. Jeremy shared a post echoing debunked claims that various miscreants were deliberately starting the fires. This misinformation tends to have a political motive, downplaying the role of climate change in the infernos and claiming that any perceived political enemies are arsonists. Jacob and others blasted these theories of an incendiary conspiracy as, well, conspiracy theories, and that's when Jeremy hit back. Jeremy marveled at the idea that what he was spreading was dangerous misinformation. He wrote that every person alive needs to be imploring his particular God for discernment and vision. It was clear that Jacob spoke to him after this too, because Jer kept digging himself deeper and deeper into the world of conspiracy theories. Obviously faced with the fact that several of these I Saw Goody Proctor started in wildfire stories had been debunked, Jer insisted that it was no reason to rule out the others. Finally, Jeremy's vague posts on the subject were getting so bad that Jacob had to speak out. Taking to his own Instagram stories, Jacob acknowledged that people had messaged him with alarm about his brother's posts. He assured them that he had been speaking to Jer, to no avail. Jacob reluctantly recommended maybe not following anyone spouting misinformation right now, even if that meant unfollowing his own brother. That must have been hard to write. This is not a first time for the brothers, and part of a longer difference of fundamental values and obvious political divides. So to see Izzy and Och hanging out with each other is encouraging. That said, it is not especially surprising, they have done this before. Shortly after Jacob returned to attempt to reconcile with his family, he was in conflict with Jeremy and Audrey over ideology. Jeremy and Audrey hold some very conservative religious views, many of which translate into their politics. Meanwhile, Jacob is an atheist who emphasizes values such as personal choice and human rights, as well as environmental concerns. But Isabel and Audrey spent time together, and it was perceived that Izzy was acting as a peacemaker in the family. She even wore one of Och's merch shirts, helping to advertise it on Instagram. While we all have to decide for ourselves if we are willing to associate with people who hold values that we know to be horrific and incompatible with our own, if you're going to keep in touch, you might as well be amicable. That's it for now, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to stay tuned.